Hey, how do I possibly? Okay, that kind of works. Have the liberals gotten to me yet? I'll be honest, the state is weird. I don't think you really talk to anyone. Even on Tinder, everyone was like, oh, I want to like get to know you before we meet up. I'm like, I'm here for 2 days. What am I doing next? Well, let's see. I visited the museums. Mimsy's not here anymore, so I don't have anyone to do anything with now. That museum was ridiculous. It's probably the most absurd thing I've ever seen. Honestly, I would give that museum a straight 10. It might actually be the nicest museum I've ever been to. No room tour. It's literally a hotel room. You're pretty much seeing it all right here. Lamp, bed, shower, you're done. Come to Vinewood. I have a girl to suck you off. I don't know what Vinewood is, so that would probably be the first problem. I'm ugly from this point of view. Well, I doubt that. I'm having breakfast at the hotel. I had the buffet yesterday. It's $25. Then you have to tip. Then you have tax, and all of a sudden it's $31. It's good food though, and a lot of good food. And to be honest, I'm still full from it, from yesterday, from eating yesterday, because I had so much food. You honestly sound so happy to not be at home and not playing League. I mean, I would say, and I can be honest with you, Twitch chat, that I feel I'm definitely a little bit unhealthy with streaming, because I have a tendency to, if I'm at my home, right, then I'll get bored. Or maybe I won't get bored. But I always think to myself, why don't I just go stream? And even if I don't want to stream, even if I'm not feeling good, I'll stream. And after months and months and months of that, I finally was like, I was feeling so shitty, but I still can't stop streaming because I just feel so guilty not streaming. And so I finally said, okay, I'm just gonna leave. I'm going to physically walk away from my computer. I wouldn't say it's a streaming addiction. It's more like I feel guilty not working and therefore not making money. You know what I mean? Here I am streaming. I didn't stream. So the first day I only streamed with Blastoise for like 30 minutes. Granted, I was only there for a couple hours, mind you. The second day, I went out and streamed, and that was with Vondel. But I think that streaming was like part of the vacation, if you know what I mean. Like it was being at the pier, it was being at the beach. This is like writing I'm a perfectionist as a con in your CV. Not really, because like you're not supposed to be working every day, especially if like you're forcing yourself to work because you feel guilty, so then you feel shitty, but you don't have to. How much will it cost me to be on vacation? Way too much. To be honest, I'm kind of a little bit annoyed because like I was a little bit afraid. I don't even know what my sub count is at. That's one thing that worries me. I know my sub count's probably got down by like 100, maybe even 200. I'll be honest with you, that's one of the things that like always makes me feel anxious. It's like when I don't stream, I see my sub count go down, and then I'm like, but I literally cannot look at it right now. I definitely think that's something that a lot of streamers worry about and causes. It's definitely something that happens to streamers that causes a lot of their stress and anxiety. Is they don't like taking breaks because they see their view count go down. They potentially see themselves losing their viewer base, so they never go on break. And after years and years of never going on break, of always being worried and anxious, like that can blow your mind out. Yeah, I was a little bit worried about like people trying to come and meet me or something, but literally not a single person has tried. Not a single person has tried to meet me. I mean, yeah, I met Vondel, I met Mimsy, I met Blastoise, you know, some people like that. But like no one from like the stream chat has just like randomly shown up and tried to ambush me. And I almost feel like, you know, what am I doing wrong? You know, it's like when the priest molests everyone but you know? You're like, yay, but hey, what's wrong with me? Oh, I haven't been to the observatory yet. Am I supposed to be there? Dude, the LA sun is like a goddamn like laser. It'll be like 60 in the morning and you'll be like, okay, not so bad. Then by like midday, the sun's pounding down on you. And it still might feel like it's 60, but like the sun is like turbocharging your skin. Unfortunately, my sexual fantasy of a really hot, attractive fangirl meeting up with me didn't happen, Twitch chat. The whole trip is ruined. Hey Shinjin, how come you're so kind and chill, IRL, but so angry when you're playing League? I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I don't hate streaming. Streaming is actually something that I consider to be fun. That's why the first day I was here, that's why I did stream. Because I wanted to, you know? It is fun. It's just League streaming. Like, the thing is, I feel like the League community makes it their God-given duty to make streaming League the most annoying and shitty thing as possible. They shit talk you constantly. Even if you make a good play, they're like, that play could have been better. If you ever die to anything, if you get 5-man top lane, level 1, and they blow 5 flashes and all 5 of them die, they'll go into chat and be like, LOL feeder. Yeah, and then basically what Calbrock said too, and then it feels shitty because League has a lot of mechanics I would call hazing mechanics. Mechanics wherein basically you get fucked and there's nothing you can do to prevent it, and it's just a part of playing the game. Like when you get 2v1 top lane and there's just nothing you're allowed to do. Right? It's like, that's just a part of the game, right? Like, that's how it is. But doesn't that kind of suck that you have to play through that? So like 10, 20 minutes can go by where you're actively not having fun. Do I get anxious about the future of my streaming career? No, because the amount of viewers I get from doing IRL means that potentially I could do this. And I wouldn't make as much as I do playing League, obviously. Like, I wouldn't be able to just make a snap trip to LA and spend, over $2,000 on a trip. Just, I decided to do it, But I would still make enough to live comfortably.
What? I'm starting to get a little bit fucking pissed off at this Twitch chat. As for how was LA? A very, very severe homeless problem afflicts that city. I've never seen homelessness at that level. It's not every city, Wings. It's just rampant, unabashed homelessness. Just rampant, in-your-face homelessness. Just excessive homelessness. Just homeless people on every beach, just people hanging out in their homeless spots. Like they're just being designated, hey, sleep here, homeless areas, It's also got a severe urban planning problem. They could fix so many of their issues if they had proper urban planning. So one street will be a bunch of stores, one street will be restaurants, one street will be apartments, and they'll be just back to back. And then you'll go back to restaurants, back to apartments. And so what that ends up doing is you end up with like 3 Starbucks because everyone wants their close Starbucks. So then cities end up feeling like they have a shitload of wasted space, which just makes it this giant sprawling area. I mean, LA is just massive. It takes you so long to get anywhere, but there's nothing there. How can you be so massive and yet still have nothing there? LA is like a beautiful city with a great mountainside, like lots of like artsy shit on the mountains, great beach, but it's basically a shithole except for those things, Coming from Chicago, urban planning is very important. When you go into Chicago, you can tell that Chicago's got proper urban planning. You're not going to end up with the Starbucks on every street corner because here's apartments, here's buildings, okay? You don't like intermingle them, right? And if there are apartments, it's not going to be literally like 1-story homes. It's going to be an actual apartment building. Then you go to LA and it's just urban sprawl for as far as the eye can see. It's huge. Like when I was flying in, I was like, holy shit, this city's massive. But by the 3rd day, I realized it's not really massive. It's just a bunch of 1-story buildings sprawling out forever. Oh, they surrendered. Okay. I mean, I was going to go visit Charisma. Going from the airport to the university would be 40 minutes. 40 minutes. And really, once you actually got it in there, it would probably be more like 50 to an hour. And that's not even the entire city. I can't imagine a city that could take you potentially 2 hours to drive through. Did I visit the dangerous areas? I'm pretty sure I did. I mean, like, you would walk away from the beach, and if you'd go 5 streets down, all of a sudden you'd be in a bunch of, like, shut down buildings. You're just like, wait, what? I can't imagine, with the amount of tax money in shit that California has, you wouldn't be able to convince me they couldn't set up some project buildings, okay? I mean, what was it called? The Griffin Museum? What was it called? Anyway, the museum they've got up on the mountain that's completely free and taxpayer funded, that thing's gotta be costing them $100 million a year. With the amount of money they have, you can't tell me they can't set up project buildings somewhere. 10, 15-story apartments, put them for cheap. Maybe they don't want to because they don't want to, like, reduce the quality of the city, but I'm not sure having that much homelessness is good. Well, it's kind of a complicated problem. Everyone wants to move in LA, so the prices of things keeps going up because supply and demand, right? The more people that move in, the more people that eventually get pushed out into homelessness, right? And they just keep building up more and more homelessness. Would anyone want to move to LA? Because it was like 60 degrees, felt more like 70 or 80 during January if you're in the sun. It never gets cold. You always have a beach. You've got great mountains. You've got a free museum. I mean, if I was to go on another trip, I would probably, maybe New York. I think every city is pretty boring. You can maybe find about 3 days of activities in any given city. You got to meet up with people. If I hadn't met up with Mimsy, that would have been bored out of my mind. Doing stuff with Mimsy was pretty fun though.